with simplysimplestamping.com. Thank you for joining me for a 2-minute tip. Hey guys, today I want to just kind of go over some basic card measurements. For those of you that might be new to paper crafting, I know those measurements can be daunting. So we're going to talk about just the basics of cutting cardstock. Here in the United States, we pretty much use 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. So typically there are 2 different size cards that we create. You can do an 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4.25 inch card. So that's that version. You can also do an 11 inch by 4.25 scored at 5.5 inch version. So they're just 2 different style of cards. Either way, they're going to be made with the 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So if we're going to be cutting it at 5.5, we need to score it at 4.25. So I like to always do 2 pieces of cardstock at one time. So you can see there's my score line. I can now rotate my cardstock and I can cut it in half. There's the 11 inch side, half of it 11 inches. Now I can bring in my cutting blade, and that's going to be 5.5. Now I always have 2 pieces of cardstock ready. To create the other card, we're actually going to do that just opposite. I'm going to score it at 5.5, again, half of the 11 inches, flip it around to the 4.25, and then we can cut straight up, and now we have 2 of those card bases. Now, many times people want to know, how do you know what size to layer your card? Well, a basic card front, no matter which piece of card base you use, they are all 4.25 by 5.5. And if you can't remember that measurement, you might want to put it on a Post-it note because it's a measurement we use quite a bit, 4.25 and 5.5. So to layer, what I like to do, if I'm going to layer on a card itself, I just remove 1/4 inch. So this piece is cut 4 inches by 5.25. And you can see that's going to give me 1/8 inch. Remember, I took off 1/4, so half of that, it's going to get me 1/8 inch at the top and on the sides. So you always want to remember that you remove 1/4 inch on the short side and the long side. If you want to leave a larger border around your card, simply cut off 1/2 inch. So this piece is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And you can see I now have 1/4 inch border all the way around. You just have to remember, whatever measurement you cut off, it's only going to give you half that measurement in the top of the bottom so that you can center it in your card base. Thanks so much for tuning into my 2-minute Tuesday tip. I hope that you guys find that one helpful. We'll see you next Tuesday, guys. Bye-bye.